Welcome back, folks. Today's a little test just to check out the motion blur. As soon as I finished my video last week and said that GoPro hadn't yet released the ND filters, I then checked online to see if there was an update, and guess what? Yeah, they were available then. So I ordered some, arrived yesterday, so this is my first trip out with them. I am going to explain exactly, back in the studio, how to set your camera up to get that cinematic motion blur. So, back to the studio. So to make your cinematic motion blur work, first of all, don't try the built-in cinematic motion blur effect. It really is quite gimmicky. It sort of works in low light, but it jitters and it jerks, and it's not the same as true cinematic motion blur. A lot of people I know, including motovloggers, have tried to set this up, but some just don't know where to start. So I'm going to simplify it here, make it really easy. You need two things. You need your action camera, and you need a set of ND filters. Obviously in this video, because I'm reviewing this new GoPro Mission 1 series, I'm using the Mission 1 Pro, and I'm also using the GoPro ND filters. First of all, what I love about the ND filters is that every single filter for the pack of 4, I'll flash up the price of this on the screen now, but for the pack of 4, every single filter is usable in ND 8, 16, 32 and a 64. With a lot of third-party filters that I've bought in the past for different cameras, you'll get an ND 8, an ND 32, a 64 and then something like a 128, which you'd never use unless you lived on the sun. First of all, what I do is, with a normal sort of day here in Ireland, grey, overcast, fairly dull, I'll always stick on an ND8 filter. So I'll show you this now and then I'll go through the settings. So first of all, twist off the lens and clip on your ND8 filter. If it was a bright sunny day outside, then I would be using the ND16, but as I explained, I'll be using the ND8 for this. If you line up the blue dot on the reverse side of your ND filter with the big blue dot on the front of the lens of the GoPro, it'll clip in there and then just twist it into place. The first thing you'll notice is on the screen on the back of your GoPro, it recognizes that you've actually applied the ND8 filter to the camera. Okay, let's go into the settings. And as you can see, I'm using 16:9 aspect ratio, 4K, 50 frames per second. These are all my other settings down here. And Super View is on. The Hyper Smooth is on as well. The shutter is 100, because 1/100 rather, because I'm using a frame rate of 50 frames per second. So it's double your frame rate. It's also called the 180-degree angle rule, shutter angle rule. It stems from film days, that. The ISO, this is brilliant having this option on action cameras where you have variable ISOs. So I'm using 25 to 1600 rather than 25 to 6400 because if it did get cloudy all of a sudden and your ISO increased automatically up to 6400, there's an awful lot of noise in that picture. Ideally, I wouldn't want to go beyond 25 to 1600. That's pretty much it. As long as you've selected those three things, that will allow you to get motion blur. Okay, let's get back out on the road and see how this looks. I haven't done much with the audio yet on the GoPro. As I mentioned in the last video, I will do a separate standalone piece about the audio. That will be on its way very, very soon. I'm still concentrating on getting the best picture from the GoPro. And my findings on the last video I've kept within the settings here, which is pretty much as follows. The Super View is on. I really did like that big wide view. There was not much distortion at all when the camera is looking straight ahead. And the other thing I liked more than I thought I was going to like is the built-in natural color tone. So straight from the camera is what you're seeing right now. I haven't even tweaked the exposure or the saturation, nothing. I've kept it all straight out of the camera in standard color, or natural rather, color mode. I thought I was liking the cinematic mode because it does crush the blacks, but maybe it was just the day which was in it on that last trip out on a motorbike, and I just preferred natural. I'll keep flitting between the two in future tests, but I really do want to show you what motion blur is all about, set up manually. So have a look at this. I shall freeze the picture now. And what you're looking at there is lovely blurring in the hedge, on the road, and anything else moving past you. So that's why I've already said it. It's imperative that we set up correct motion blur within our cameras. You can only do that with the ND filters. One of the biggest differences between professional looking footage and amateur video is the presence of natural motion blur. Our eyes are accustomed to seeing movement with a degree of blur, and when a camera uses the correct shutter speed, typically following the 180-degree shutter rule, as I've just mentioned, moving objects appear smooth and cinematic. Amateur footage is often shot with excessively fast shutter speeds because the camera is doing it on auto, making every frame unnaturally sharp and causing motion to look jittery, harsh, and also like a 90s wedding video. Motion blur helps blend movement from one frame to the next, creating a more immersive and polished viewing experience. It's a subtle detail that most viewers won't consciously notice, but it's one of the key reasons that professional footage feels natural and cinematic. So if you're going to the lengths and expense of purchasing kit like this, then you might as well get the best out of it. And this is why, again, it's so important to set the correct motion blur. I'll show you a clip from my last ride out before I received the ND filters, when I was just on all the automatic settings, and show you what it's like without the motion blur. And that translates to video even worse than it looks on a still photograph, for having no motion blur. So when it translates to video, well, I'm playing you the clip now. Hopefully you can see the difference. If you're looking at this on a phone, then you probably can't see the difference. But if you look at this back on a normal size TV, or even an iPad or a computer screen, you'll see the difference. Well, hopefully you will. I do. It absolutely jars with me when I see people just going out with their action cameras all set up in auto ISO, auto shutter. Oh, it's just, yeah, it's not great. It's like a horrible strobe. But I suppose then I would have a keener eye than most, given what I do for a living. Anyway, that's probably it for today's video, just to do this test. In case you're wondering, because of the day which is in it, which isn't thoroughly blue skies, but I'm shooting on an ND8 filter, which is the GoPro ND8 filter for this new Mission 1 Pro. Thanks a million for tuning in. I shall be back very soon with more videos about this new GoPro Mission 1 Pro series camera. What I won't be doing, however, is to give those videos a regular slot like my normal videos every Saturday morning at 8 AM. So if you want to see more of this sort of stuff, if you're a techie guy or a lady or a camera nerd like myself, then be sure to ding the bell. Then you'll be notified when these videos drop, because I'll only be dropping them as and when I've shot them. Okay, thanks once again for tuning in. Hopefully those of you curious about ND filters and the correct way to set cinematic motion blur, hopefully I've explained that clear enough. And really appreciate you being here. Have a great week, everybody. Ride safe. Dave Perry, Wheelie Good TV.